What's happening, everybody? Welcome back. This is Forgo, and today we're going to figure out two different things. One, can Gambit clear stage 20 against Null with 13% pierce and having 100% energy attack with a 20% energy attack proc, which is a lot of energy attack, and it's a decent amount of pierce. And is it better to just rotate through his skills every 7 seconds, because this proc actually triggers every 7.5 seconds, or this fifth skill is actually off cooldown every 7.5 seconds? Is it better to hit your proc every single 7 seconds rather than waiting the 10 seconds to build up this beatdown proc every 10 seconds? So the way that the proc works on the CTP of energy with the beatdown is you'll run around, you'll build up the bar, you'll hit your skills. As soon as you hit your skills, this proc activates for the extra pierce from this beatdown. So I'm getting an extra 6% pierce every 10 seconds, right? So we'll run around, we'll do our attack, we'll apply that extra pierce, the 6% pierce on top of the 13% pierce that I have in my cards, which is 19% pierce in total, right? But this only procs every 10 seconds. So you'll run around, you'll do your skills, then you got to run around a little bit longer, and you got to wait that full 10 seconds before you can do it again to get this extra 6% pierce. Is it better on a character like Gambit anyways to wait for this beatdown proc, right, every 10 seconds, or is it better just to use the beatdown one time, then run through your regular skills, hit your proc again on the fifth skill the second time, try to build up the beatdown the third time, then the fourth time, just use your regular skills? So what we're going to be testing is it better when you're using a beatdown, a mighty CTP of energy, is it better to proc every 7 seconds, or is it better to proc every 10 seconds, trying to get the beatdown every single time? And as far as Gambit's build, he has 38,000 energy attack. He has max attack speed. He pretty much almost has max attack stats. He's pretty stacked up. He does have 5-star energy attack Urus. And this is actually pretty interesting because, a lot of characters that I test usually have mythic energy attack Urus. So he actually did a lot better than what you'd probably anticipate. Even with my cards and having the beatdown proc and all, it really is astonishing how strong the character is. Again, he's not the strongest. There are stronger characters than him, but he's still pretty damn potent. And all the skills are 6, and it really is wild how much damage this guy can do, considering he isn't relying on any all defense down from this 5th skill. That's pretty nuts. It just shows you the amount of power that he has, and he's just getting a 25% attack buff from this 5th skill. This is not some giant freaking 40%, 60% attack buff, although he is getting a 30% increase of all attack from his 3rd skill, which is very, very important, a skill that you can cancel immediately. He does have a stage 6 power ranger offset. This is another thing that you're going to notice in this run. So when we're trying to do that stage 20 clear against Null, just keep in mind that if this was fully awakened, we'd have extra stats. We would be getting an extra 20% attack proc whenever this ISO 8 set procs. Right now we're getting 20% extra all attack, but if this would be fully awakened, we'd get 40% all attack. And then of course CTP of energy and a mythic uniform. So what we're going to do is we're going to do the run first with comparing the 10-second and the 7-second rounds. Is it better to proc every 10 seconds using a mighty CTP of energy, or is it better, even if you have a mighty CTP of energy, just to try to proc every 7 seconds, since Gambit's cooldown is very low on that 5th skill? So we're starting off with the split screen right here. You can see on the left side we have the every 7 seconds, and on the right side we have every 10 seconds. So something you're going to notice if you pay attention is on the right, where I'm procking every 10 seconds, trying to build up that beatdown proc every single time, I'm actually get caught in the cage twice. So you'll see right now I'm going to actually get caught in that cage, whereas on the left side I'll never get caught in the cage. Every time you get caught in the cage, you're losing 4 seconds, and I'll actually get caught twice in this run. I'll lose 8 seconds in total compared to the left side. So that's something to keep in mind when you're looking at this comparison. Also, something else to note is because we're going to be procking every 7 seconds, we're actually going to be doing our awakening skill 4 times, and we're going to run through our regular rotations 8 other times. Whereas when we're procking every 10 seconds, we're actually going to have an awakening 3 times, and our rotation is only going to be 7 times other than the awakening. So we're actually getting an extra rotation and an extra awakening on the every 7-second timing on the left side. So that's something else to keep in mind. Also on the left side, I did get kind of, I got interrupted on one of my skills. So I did lose about a bar and a half of damage. Also on the left side, just to be fair, when you're trying to compare both of these, you're trying to look at how often you get stunned and how often you get in the cage. Again, in the right side, I got in the cage twice. On the left side, I didn't get in the cage at all. So I did lose that 8 seconds on the right side. But I did get interrupted once on the left side, where I did lose about a bar and a half of damage. All right, so now I want you to look at something here. We're going to back this up a little bit here. There we go. Now look at how much life we have left on the left side. Not a lot, right? As far as the damage, they're very, very close. There's really not a whole lot of difference. However, just like I mentioned earlier, because we got caught in that cage twice on the right side, the every 10-second run there, trying to build up that beatdown every 10 seconds, we lost 8 seconds. If I wouldn't have got caught in those cages twice, we would have done it even faster. So actually, from this testing that I've done, whenever you're proccing, if you have a mighty CTP of energy and you're playing with Gambit, I can only speak for Gambit and maybe characters with low cooldown, right? That it is better to actually build up your beatdown proc every time. But honestly, it's really so close, and there really is a lot of RNG involved in these kinds of runs. I mean, I do have a CTP of Insight on my Cyclops, and it's really going to depend, like, if that proc lines up with the proc that I'm using from my CTP of Energy, if they're adding on together, because you do get an extra 15% attack from the CTP of Insight. I mean, there's a lot of little variables. I do have 100% ignore dodge, though. I have the same strikers. I mean, I used Doctor Strange leadership, so we get that extra ignore dodge, and then we have ignore dodge on the CTP of Energy, and then we have some ignore dodge strikers. That we have a max ignore dodge, and we know that we're getting the max amount of output of damage. So I thought this would be really interesting to show you guys, but let's go ahead and do the stage 20 run so you guys can see how well we actually did here. Now in this run, I actually did change my leadership, and I put in Star-Lord, because Star-Lord's going to give an extra 55% attack to Gambit, and we're going to have enough ignore dodge. We got the CTP of Energy on Gambit, and then we got 2 ignore dodge strikers. Unfortunately, we can only use male superheroes at stage 20, but it's enough ignore dodge. I mean, we're looking at what, 40%, about 80%, 75-80% ignore dodge. It's enough, right? And I actually did do this 2 different ways. Just like I did with the split run, I actually did one run where I was trying to proc every 7 seconds, and then I did another run where I was proccing every 10 seconds, building up the mighty CTP of Energy. And I actually found, again, in full runs against Null, the damage was almost virtually the same. But toward the end of this run, I'll show you guys why I tried to do that. Because what happens initially with Gambit is he does really, really good all the way up until the end. And, doing enough damage at the end, wherever Null brings up that cage around him, is really the crux for Gambit. He just didn't quite do enough damage at the end. But stage 20 on my account is very, very high. I mean, Human Torch can do it with, Ben Grimm on the team and Mr. Fantastic having that 65% all-attack leadership. Cable can do it. Maybe Odin. I still want to try and see if I can queue this up with Odin, but that's it. I mean, really, Cable and Human Torch are the big dogs, because we can't use any females, we can't use any villains, so a lot of really strong characters we just can't use them in stage 20, which is a real bummer. But my Gambit, I do believe if I had him built a little bit better, if I had some Odin's Blessings on him, if I had those energy attack instead of being 5-star mythic, I think, we might have been able to do the clear, because we're going to come pretty close. Now, here, I actually did 2 different methods here as well. I did one run that, you guys aren't seeing, where I was trying to proc, again, every 7 seconds. I wasn't trying to build up the beatdown like I am right now. And again, the damage was virtually the same. There really wasn't a whole lot of difference. And, the beautiful thing about Gambit is, the fact that he can manipulate Null so well, right? You can just run around and keep Null from going in his phases to actually kind of stall him from doing any of his attacks, which actually helps a lot. It's actually a big thing in Gambit's corner. Now there I didn't want to use my Awakened skill because I knew I'd do enough damage to put Null in the next phase. Oh, we got caught there. We got stunned. No biggie. And this really is what's nice about Gambit. Gambit has a lot of great survivability in this uniform because of the heal, because of the fact he has the iframes, and because he can just move around in that iframe. He's so good at manipulating Null that's not even funny. I mean, we can just keep running and running. The only thing you got to be careful of is, is in order for you to cancel the third skill to go into the fifth skill, you got to make sure you're within a certain distance of Null. I would say probably 4 or 5 character distances away from Null is probably a safe bet as far as using a third skill. But if you get too close, then Null's going to start doing his attacks, which is what you don't want to do. You want to stall him. You want to keep him from doing any of his attacks. And another thing about Gambit is he does have that great movement speed, right? Which is really nice. But I mean, you can see, guys, we're doing really good, right? I mean, he's putting out some amazing damage. Actually, he did a lot better than what I actually thought he would do. I knew he would do decent, but he actually is pretty much, I mean, he's on pace right now to get the clear. He's on pace. He's doing enough damage on my account with 5-star energy attack Urus, right? And a fairly good build, but he doesn't have a fully awakened ISO 8 set, right? I mean, I know I'm using a mighty CTP, right? But still, he doesn't have a fully awakened ISO 8 set. And so we would do a lot more damage if we were getting that extra 40% attack from that proc instead of 20% attack that we're getting right now. Now here I go ahead and I try to throw in some damage, but look, we got 55 seconds left. We have plenty of time. We got down to the wire here. We got plenty of time. Unfortunately, because we need invincibility or super armor here, we got kind of screwed and our skill got interrupted there. So right here, I'm just trying to wait for my Awakened skill. Now, I did another run where I actually did have my Awakened skill ready before Null went into this very last phase, right, where the cage first showed up. And I used the Awakened skill, and then I tried doing enough damage afterwards, and the outcome was the same as what you're going to see right now. The damage just wasn't enough in the final stages. It just wasn't enough. So let me know what y'all think about the comparison between the 10-second and 7-7 proccing with the mighty CTP of energy, and what do you think about Gambit almost getting it done on my account? And maybe he would have if I would have had an obelisk on Star-Lord, which I don't right now, but if I would have had a rage on him, maybe I could have used Star-Lord early on, used his tier 3, maybe done a little bit of damage. We might have got that bar and a half done. Maybe I might try that in the future, but this was a very, very close call. But I really do believe if my Gambit would have been built just a little bit better, I would have got the clear. So I do stream on Twitch at Reset. The link will be in the description below. And I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. Y'all take care and have a good one. See ya.